Hi, welcome to Chez, Fleur, my podcast. I'm Janet, and today we're welcoming Tony and Kelli Grady from Grady's Feet Essentials. And they have a great story to tell about their small business. First of all, they sell footwear, obviously, and they have had quite a journey to get to where they are right now. And I'm really excited that they're on the show today and that they're going to talk to us about all the things that are exciting in fashion and footwear and small business. And they are a husband and wife team, and they're going to talk a bit about that as well. So, Tony, Kelli, tell me how long you've owned Grady's Feet Essentials.
Well, we bought it in 1997 from Tony's dad, who had started the business in 1984.
So we've owned it now for what's that, 26 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so second generation. That, you know what? Now that you say that, I do remember your dad.
Yeah. We opened on George Street many years ago. Actually, in 1984, Dad opened out of his house. In 1985, he opened on Hunter Street. Then 1986, George Street. And then Kelli and I went to the mall, Lansdowne Place, in 2000 after we had bought it. And now we're in our own building on King Street.
Yeah, and that's quite a fashion corner because that was Angela Mark's building for so long, and she was she was a fashion icon in town, and so it's really nice, I think, to see you in there with keeping that fashion corner alive. So that's great.
If you take Blundstones as fashion,
Which we do.
They are.
We're most a comfort shoe store. Like we're a sit and fit type shoe store with comfortable fitting fans. Brands, right? Blundstone, Birkenstock are two key ones. We don't really do dress shoes per se, but fashionable Blundstone and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about seeing Birks in the Barbie movie?
Loved it. Oh my gosh.
It was the highlight of the movie, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
Plus my dad's name is Ken, my brother's name is Ken, and I have a nephew named Ken. So all those Ken jokes were perfect.
Yeah, we loved it.
Yeah, it was yeah. Yeah, it was a great scene.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in a standalone store.
Yeah.
And you moved there from the mall. Tell me about the difference between being in a mall location and being in your own building.
Well, when you're in the mall, basically you open your gate and there's customers right there coming in the store. They come in groups. A lot of women like to shop together, which is different downtown where we are now. You're a destination store, so people have to come here and they usually know what they want. Whereas at the mall, they could just be,
they might not even be there for shoes that day.
Yeah.
They just happen to be walking by. So it's a different kind of vibe. We actually needed more staff at the mall because you'd have more people just looking. So you needed more people available to help them. And also at the mall, you're working around their schedule. And, so we would have to be open even when it didn't make sense for our store, for example. And so there was a lot of, higher overhead costs and that sort of thing that we really enjoy not having at our own location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very, rigid, the mall rules. And I mean, it's not just our mall, it's malls everywhere. And like you say, it may not make sense for you to be open till 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night, but the mall is open.
That's right. And the mall is an environment, it's very expensive, as you may know, or people know, because not only do you have your rent, but you also have common area costs. You pay for security, you pay for the mall taxes, mall marketing, everything. And then on top of that, you pay a percentage of your sales past a break point. So it's a very expensive place to be. But having said that, we were extremely successful in the mall. We were a destination store there, which gave us confidence actually to move to our own building, that our customers would follow us, and they have.
Yeah, that's great. So you work together, and I understand you volunteer together too, and you're both members of the Rotary Club of Peterborough. And tell me more about your experience with Rotary and volunteering in an organization that's both local and international.
Oh, we just love being part of Rotary. We joined November 2019, so right before COVID hit. So it was kind of a strange thing for us to join this organization and then everything get locked down. But it was really great because through COVID, thanks to Zoom, we were actually able to get to know people while everyone else was feeling quite isolated. We were part of this group, and we're able to do things and give back despite that challenging time. And so we're hooked. We love it. We're both very involved. We're both on the board of directors now, and doing a lot of things to help out.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because people will ask, how do you work together all day? And how are you together at night? And every day,
Rotary
and
together.
do Rotary together. And Kelli and I, we've worked together now for how many years?
Well,
full time, like 18 years.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And along that line, when you have a husband and wife working together all the time, you'd think there could be conflict. We're fortunate that we seem to have our systems in place where Kelli has her roles in the business, I have my own roles in the business, and we trust each other to do what they're going to do, and we respect their decisions. So I would say there's not a lot of conflict that results from that.
Despite all the time we spend
Despite all the time, it's 24/7.
Well, yeah, that has also, I mean, in my industry as well, there are, a lot of shops that are husband and wife teams, and it's interesting to see how, I mean, with my industry being flowers, there are two distinct, like there's a business stream and there's an artistic stream. So it's interesting to see how roles and defined jobs get divided up and how that gets managed by by a couple. And I always look at them and I think, so how do you make sure that you're able to eat Christmas dinner together after you've worked all day? But it sounds to me like you've got, clearly defined roles, and I think you said it yourself, respect for each other's skill set and decision making.
The other thing that we do, Janet, too, is we'll check in with each other. If we'll say, how are you doing today? And sort of a scale of 1 to 10. If someone is not an 8, 9, or 10, if they say I'm a 5 today because they're stressed and whatnot, then the other person just picks up and maybe does a little bit more of the workload and gives the other person their space. So
there's a little extra kindness goes
exactly
goes towards that person.
Exactly.
Yeah, it goes a long way. So of your Rotary projects, which you can do something, what is your favorite local project that you've been working on?
So for me, the local project, there's so many good ones. A lot of people know our club as the Rotary Greenway Trail. But last year we started a new project called the REEF, the Rotary Environmental Innovators Fund. And what it is it's on the concept of 100 women or 100 men, where everyone puts in $100. So that $10,000 then is granted to startups and businesses that have a goal of making environmental change, and they each get like $3,000 to go forward. So this is a project that was started last year with our club, and that one I'm particularly excited in at this point. It's just building and more clubs are being involved. And the great thing with Rotary is that other Rotary clubs worldwide are looking at this and going to adopt it as well. Even though it's a local project that was started here, you might see it a number of years like worldwide acceptance.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So you said it's 100 people donating. So
that was the concept. 100 people would donate $100, which would generate $10,000. And then the money would go, all the money except for the small cost would be granted to 3 different people or organizations. Last year, the Monarch Butterfly, I know that.
Yeah. So
a lot of James.
Yeah, exactly.
Lana.
So they had finalists for it last year, and so then the top 3, it was really nice because they had the finalists, and then everybody that was part of it that had given the $100 got the chance to read about what each person wanted to do, and then vote on them. They're like rank them, and so then the top 3 each were given $3,000, and then the others, I think they got $300 each.
Yeah, and there was one fellow. I can't remember if he was a finalist or not, but he his business was a drone that would actually be able to plant trees in remote areas. So what a great idea. And so that's the sort of things the Reef is trying to sponsor and grow and nurture.
Yeah, that's fabulous. That's fabulous. Do you have a favorite international project?
Oh, for sure. I would say it's eradicating polio. We just had the International Polio Day as it was a good reminder of how close Rotary is to meeting the goals of eradicating polio. It's endemic in only 2 countries of the world now, and I think in Canada we kind of forget how terrible polio is because it's been a long time since it's been an issue here. But the reality is, as long as it exists somewhere in the world, all children in the world are at risk until it's eradicated. So it's really important to keep up immunizations worldwide until it's completely eradicated. And we are so close. It's incredibly exciting. Exactly. So close.
Well, I really appreciate having both of you on my podcast today, and loved hearing your story. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about the excitement of being in retail, small business?
Wow.
The excitement of it, it can be so challenging being an entrepreneur. And when we first started out, it was very competitive. There were a lot more independent shoe stores at the time, and we couldn't get of some of the brands that we would have liked to have gotten. And I think one of our big lessons we learned through that was just make the most of what you can get. And for us, that was Birkenstock and Blundstone, and just be the very best at that you can be. And I think that has been one of the most important things we've learned as business owners, and that I think others can take from too, because sometimes you have challenges you can't do anything about. So you focus on what you can do something about.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And, even in the last few years, supply chain issues, stores being locked down, you just have to figure it out and make it work. And you've certainly done that. And I love your location on that corner.
Thank you.
I just think it is so you, and I'm so happy that you're there and you're doing well there, and you're having some fun outside of work.
Definitely.
I always like to end our podcast with, and I want to ask you 5 rapid fire questions. So we've got
Okay.
about 10 seconds to answer them. I don't know whether I'm going to get different answers from both of you or how that's going to work, but let's give it are you ready? Let's give it a try.
Go. Yep.
Okay, first one, Birks or Blundstone?
Oh no, you can't choose. No, they're like children.
Okay.
Depends on exactly, both.
Okay. Comedy or drama?
Comedy.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Coffee.
Okay. Books or movies?
Books.
Movies.
Sweet or savory?
Savory.
I would say savory. Yeah.
Excellent.
Have the occasional sweetness, but not
Yes,
too often.
exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Yeah, there's been a lot of sugar around lately, and we're coming into Christmas, and there's lots of candy there
I
too.
know,
So
yeah.
it's,
For sure.
but
For sure.
Anyway, I want to thank you again for being with me today and telling your story. And I appreciate the time you took, and I love hearing about, George Street to the mall to King Street. And I really think it's an exciting time to be in small business, and we've got great customers and they're great people in Peterborough. And I really appreciate you taking your time to be with us today. And thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you for having us. We're really excited to be part of this. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Janet. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you. We'll see you soon.
Okay,
All right,
bye
thanks.
for now.
Bye.
Bye.